Welcome, my Scorpios, to your December monthly zodiac sign reading. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. It's good to have you all here. We are going to dive in to see what messages you need to know for December for your soul journey. So I will use some tarot and some oracle. We're going to see what comes up. Whew. It's been a season, huh? What do my Scorpios most need to know? What is coming up for them in December? I feel like some of you are going into the ocean because I saw some waves. It could also signal waves of change, something fresh that's coming. I've been getting a lot of baby wipe energy. And when I say that, I usually get the image of a baby wipe. The first baby wipe, it's a fresh one. It's usually wet. It's the best wipe. That's what I'm getting. So there's something here about rejuvenation coming in, restoration, feeling just clean, fresh. It's not in the physical sense. You may just have gone through a lot and just decluttered energetically, spiritually, emotionally. And you know when that happens, you feel lighter. That's what I'm sensing. For some of my Scorpio sons, you've just celebrated your birthday recently. So there's a sense of renewal here. Interesting because we got the sun for one of your cards. Oh my gosh. Here are your cards. You got quite a few. Death card, Scorpio, Star card, Aquarius energy. You got a lot of major arcana. Four of Cups, water, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Sun, Leo energy. Temperance, Sagittarius. You guys went through a complete spiritual upgrade. It's like someone put you in a washer and dryer. You may have felt like a sock that got twisted. You know how sometimes socks or like delicate items get twisted in the middle part of a dryer if it has that middle part thing. That's what I feel like you've been completely cleaned out. Some of you are still processing this. I feel like December, you're going to feel that. The Death and the Star card. I feel like there's tremendous healing happening. I'm channeling that song. It's the end of the road. Boys to men. It's the end of the road to new. Okay, you can listen to that song, Boys to Men, End of the Road, because I feel like there is some huge culminating. It could be emotional, something physical. It could be something like a goal that is ending, culminating in December. It's almost like coming to terms with the last vestiges of who you were, the previous life of Scorpio. Scorpio 2023, version 1, or version 2023. It's as if you're recounting. That's what I'm getting. A lot of like thinking back deeply. And I feel like for many of my Scorpios, especially if you were a Scorpio sun and celebrated your birthday, but wherever you have a lot of the amplification of the Scorpionic energy, I felt like this season in particular really shook you to clean you, to get you going, to accelerate out of a particular space. Because many of you have been in this, like I keep getting a sock energy, a sock being stuck in a dryer, you know, where you have to untangle it, or sometimes you can't find the sock and it's stuck in some remote part of the washer. It's like that. There's something that precipitated perhaps a releasing of energy blockages, some clearing away that allowed you to move forward, and it's allowing you to clear and go past that. It's as if you were reading a book and you put bookmarks and you're like, okay, let me just catch up and remove the bookmarks. That's what I'm getting. There's a catching up. Sometimes I'm getting a computer page. Sometimes you make updates, and this happens too. I'm seeing some type of electrical output, some type of technology, maybe like Google documents. You make an update and sometimes you don't see it, so you have to refresh and then you see it, or you see it in slow motion. That's what I'm seeing for my Scorpios in December. Look at this. Something has ended, a significant chapter in your life. This is a huge one for me. I'm sensing it's not just, oh yeah, I met my goal of drinking more water. No, this is big. This is a life chapter. This has to do with emotional transformation. There's some type of mindset belief as a result of something that has happened or that you have been dealing with. There's an element of grief too. Grief doesn't happen just because someone has physically died. Their soul has exited their body and they're done, right? I heard done cooking. This can also be as a result of changing your beliefs, your mindsets, your habits, and grieving who you were, grieving people that were a part of your life, grieving the way you used to live or the way things used to be. I'm channeling this movie The Way We Were with Robert Redford and Barbara Streisand. It's from the 70s. I believe it's mid to late 70s. And it's coming up here. And it doesn't have to denote a romantic relationship, even though this movie does. But what I'm getting here is there was something that couldn't be reconciled. It could be a belief system, because that's what the movie was referencing. They loved each other, but sometimes love is not enough. And they had very differing social views on matters of that time. And so love was not enough to carry that container, that relationship forward. So there was something here, I feel like, that has really transformed you. I'm getting an overall energy for you. So what I'm seeing is for the past year, and even before, for some of you, there has been something that has completely transformed your way of being, your way of life, your philosophy, your outlook, your mindset. Sometimes the death of someone close to you can have that impact. It makes you realize, it jolts you alive. It makes you realize how ephemeral we all are. I'm getting goosebumps. It could be also the metaphorical death of someone in your life, someone that's no longer there. It makes you realize, and you really think about, you think about how short of a time that we really have on this earth, at least in these bodies, how fast shifting, fast changing life can be. Blink of an eye, I'm hearing. I feel like your values underneath this, all this also connects to your values. There's been a tremendous shift, but more importantly, this has shifted you for the better. It's accelerated you tremendously during the past year. I'm getting a lot of annual energy with you guys. And also in December, this is a culminating, it's like a wrapping up of this cycle, of this transformative belief process that has transformed a lot of inside work that has happened. Energetic too. I'm sensing lineage and ancestral patterns that have come up for you all, that are being recognized, that are being cleaned out, but more importantly, transmuted, because you're using that energy in a different way. So your soul has evolved. Oof, I'm getting a crap load with you guys. There's major healing, but with that, it's almost like looking at life in a new way. You know, when something just massive happens to you, and it's going to be relative for everyone. It could be losing a job, being fired, someone that has passed away in this realm, someone that has separated or you no longer speak to them. Or it could simply mean working on yourself, where your mindset, I was going to say your mindset has shifted so much. A belief has emerged that wasn't there before. I'm getting a variety of different changes that have happened. Whatever it is, you're seeing things in a very new way. Very new way. The old you is no longer here. You've upgraded. You've emerged into someone that's more conscious in your own journey, that's more elevated, and that's more aware. And this is only about your journey, no one else's. This isn't me comparing you to other people. For some, I feel like this has to do with your home foundation. Whatever happened, it really affected your emotional, physical, spiritual foundation. So again, core beliefs, mindsets, points of views, philosophies, beliefs. It's that type of thing that impacts everything else. I feel like with that new upgraded system, the way of looking at things, you're emerging and you're seeing things. I'm just seeing like a completely different angle, completely different viewpoint. Some of you may be juxtaposing, putting side by side your old life and who you were and where you're headed now, because I feel like we see pine trees or pine looking trees here. I'm getting a fresh energy here. Some of you are about to just step into this new chapter where you're doing and going to explore something very different as a result of everything that you've learned. I keep getting year for you guys. 4 of Cups, the Sun. You got tremendous healing in your energy. December, I feel, if any of you have some type of anniversary that you've recently celebrated, because I'm getting calendar. I'm sorry for the shaking. If there's any type of anniversary or commemoration or celebration of life, celebration of something, or recognition, like a memory. That's what I'm seeing in December. You guys are contemplating and reconnecting to that. Something that has happened in Scorpio's lives, I feel like is something you won't forget. This will be something that is like a cornerstone going forward. It's like I'm getting a rug, and then most people have like something like a rug pad underneath the rug so it doesn't move. It forms an anchor. That's what I'm feeling right now. Some of you, whatever has transpired, this is forming an anchor in your life, something you won't ever forget, and that's guiding you forward. A lot of healing. Some of you, I feel this concerns the loss of someone very emotionally tied to you, close to you. You were close, in other words, when I said emotionally tied, because you can have emotional connections but not be close vulnerably in that way. I feel like December is going to allow you to shed and release these final vestiges of what has happened. It's coming to terms. Some of you, this is going to prompt tears, but I feel like there's an active recognition of healing, and that this has been something that has been intentional. Some of you have been working very deep in very deep ways, perhaps through expression of writing words or solitude. There's a lot of solitude energy here. Some of you may have backed away. I'm just sensing in the last year, kind of retreated. And I also feel December is going to be a month of retreatment. Retreatment. Does that make sense? Retreating. The sun and also with the star. You guys, there's brighter days ahead. And I feel like you know that. Some of you are being guided by an ancestor in particular right now. I feel like it's a male ancestor. It could be masculine too, so it doesn't have to be a man per se, but I'm getting strong male energy here. I feel like this is a huge spiritual cycle that has ended, and it's also starting simultaneously. This is what I've been seeing a lot too with snow globes. It's as if someone shook it, something in your life, and some things had to fall away. But this is bringing you a higher level of spiritual and conscious discipline. December it's very reflective, very spiritual, very introspective month for my Scorpios. I feel like as well, there's a focus on emotionally connecting to this new way of being, philosophically, mindset, belief, values, value laden, I should say. This was a huge, huge marker, a huge wrap, like a huge marathon that your soul has just ended and is wrapping up. I feel like this has given you, it's given you extra vitality in a way that you didn't anticipate. I'm hearing the circle of life here. Some of you, your spiritual expressions have upgraded tremendously, where you're seeing things from a spiritual perspective, but from a higher perspective, from a different vantage point. And you're starting to understand things in your journey that you didn't before. Again, December, there's a culminating, almost like a full moon month effect. That's what I'm getting. Culminating, where you're seeing things realize, come to fruition for you. It's like the answers you may have had along your journey the past year are coming to you in December. Like they're popping up. It's as if you're waiting for an email and the email pops up finally in December. It's like that. I heard you've got mail. When AOL first came out, in the platform, when was it? In the 90s, mid 90s or so. Every time you signed on through dial-up, you would hear, you've got mail. That's what I've heard. Messages are coming in spiritually. For some, it could be physically, but I feel strongly this is very spiritual. There's a father figure, a father type figure. This is the male energy that I'm feeling around some of you. Strongly. Someone's guiding you. Someone is very, not forcefully. They're guiding you like a spirit guide, messenger, like a spiritual mentor of sorts. They're guiding you now. Okay, let's continue on and see what else. What other messages does the universe have for my Scorpios, please? It never, oof, the deck fell here. One card flipped. Look what we have at the bottom of the deck, protected by angels. We have grounding, go deep, explore your roots. Holy shit. I said that. I just said that, didn't it? Your readings never fail to be deep. This connects. I said this earlier about your foundation. This speaks to your roots. This could have something connected to do with your roots in terms of your nuclear family, your family tree or lineage, the home you grew up with, the home, excuse me, that you grew up in, or the people that the people that you considered home. So they didn't have, I can't even say it. I'm trying to explicate the verb and I'm like losing it right now, guys. I am so sorry. This retrograde right now, we're not even in the official retrograde. Mercury still hasn't stationed retrograde. It's still direct, but we're in the shadow periods at the timing of this video. This could also include people that didn't live with you, but that you considered family. That's what I want to say. This is the energy that I'm feeling, like I said earlier. Very reflective. You may feel just a strong need to get away and not surround yourself with people. It could be nature. I just sense, doesn't mean that none of you are social. It just means you're taking extra intentional time to be with yourself and connect. Some of you have strongly connected the umbilical cord to the spiritual world and to this ancestor. This is what I'm getting strongly here. Some of you, your psychic skills have amplified. I'm getting mediumship abilities, trances. There's an overt line that just opened, like a communication line. It may have materialized. It's connected to an ancestor here. Some of you may start or may have gotten the gift of scrying, where you look into the water. It could be fire, or you start writing, automatic writing. I feel like you're rooted into the now. It's interesting here because with temperance, this can indicate balance, moderation. And it's about remembering too, you're in a physical body as much as you are in a soul body, right? The soul, the spirit, the energy. That's one of the higher lessons that I'm getting that you're learning, or you've learned in December. How you can coexist in both worlds. Because some of you, what I said earlier, whatever has transpired, and it could be more than one thing, I feel like you just asked why. There was a lot of why. Why did things happen this way? Why did things evolve in the way they did? Some of you, this happened quickly. This is fast energy here. So you may not have had time to prepare or plan. There's something that just caused you to completely have to take a breath and release it. This is really deep about untying. It's about untying, undoing, examining like the threads, like taking away what's here on earth, what's in the earthly practical realm, and what's in the spiritual realm. Some of you may in December be called to engage in genealogy, some type of pedigree research, coat of arms. I heard royalty, so it could be pedigree. Or simply connecting back to who you are. Some of you may be returning home, maybe redefining what home means to you. There's something about your foundation. What other messages does the universe have for my Scorpios, please? What else do they need to know for December? Thank you. Oh crap, you got another one here that turned. Excuse me. We got ascendant outlook. Interesting, because I was talking a lot about your viewpoint earlier. My apologies for my dogs. Thank you. Some key themes associated with the ascendant: worldview, mission statement, expression, effect, role, mark, attitude, outer self, point of view, body image, aura, likeness, approach, impact, and first impressions. You also got Uranus, revolution. Key, th- key, th- key themes or terms: breakthroughs, brainstorming, originality, insight, awakening, technology, innovation, humanitarianism, reform, surprise, freedom, experimentation, the unexpected, rupture, edge, diversity, and lightning. I just said this before about your viewpoint, something happening quite abruptly. There's been a radical shift here with the Uranus energy. Some of you have had a very dramatic shift in how you are carrying yourself forward in the world. Basically, the lens through which you view everything now. Wow. Then we have first house, which is the house of self. Key terms associated include physical body, outlook, self-image, life philosophy, consciousness, opinions, awakening. Again, you got awakening twice: self-awareness, arrival, expression, gateway, entry point. I paused because I was looking at the word entry point. This makes me think a little bit of Wizard of Oz. There's no place like home. You know, Oz? I'm not even familiar too much. I've seen the movie, the 30s movie. There's no place like home. I keep hearing that. And somewhere over the rainbow. This is about home for many of you. This relates to someone or something that has shifted within your home, especially I'm sensing your nuclear home. For some, this could also involve and be connected to the home you're in now and who constitutes home: spouse, pets, children, relatives, friends, whomever's involved. This is the energy that I felt. Wow, a complete transformation of self. Scorpios. This is also a culminating factor too, because we had the lunar nodes shift in July from Taurus, North Node, Scorpio, South Node, into Aries, into Libra. So Scorpios, you're coming to the end of that. But I feel like this coexisted too with what happened, what I mentioned earlier. You're a completely new person as a result of this change in your outlook and your belief system and your values. Something has shifted so much. And this could be shifting too. Be cautious. Be mindful of my verbiage, my verb tense, I should say, because I tend to speak in a certain tense, but it can apply to past, present, future. Everyone's on different timelines. What other messages does the universe have for my Scorpios? Thank you. Okay, you got 3. Got 1 flipper here. Guys, sometimes I have to tell myself, like, I'm not shitting you. You got rebirth and there's a bat. This looks like a new moon. Look at this. Rebirth. This is the energy I feel. Many of you have taken, again, concerted time. I keep seeing annual, so this is speaking to the past year for many Scorpios tapped in here. But also December. It's as if December, you're in your comfort, you're in your sanctuary. I feel like come 2024, and I haven't done the readings yet, I will be. They're going to be long. You're going to be turning on the light, and the light is going to show you something very different. It's a fresh new way of living. You're emerging from the cave. You know, I'm getting Plato's allegory of the cave. That's the essence I'm getting here. it's almost as if you signed up for graduate school or some type of intense course, but this was life. And I learned a new word, lifing. Something intense allowed you to really connect in this way. It's like educational, learning, healing, all wrapped up in one. And you did it, I feel, largely within yourself, with yourself. I feel like this heightened your intuition and your psychic skills and abilities. The bat is very prominent here and coming forth. Some of you with Uranus, you're going to communicate in a new way as well. I feel like this could have shifted. My dog has no problem communicating. I feel like this is shifting, or this has shifted for you in the way that you express yourself and your interest as well. Something that you may have wanted to explore or were exploring before because of what's happened over the past year. And in December, I feel like you're going to make a pivot. It could be radically different, or it could be something that's allowing you to dive deeper, that's going to bring in what you've just learned. There's something that you're incorporating into this new way of living that's going to help you in the work that you do in the day-to-day life. It doesn't have to be paid work. It could simply mean the way you interact with people by way of your communication or form of expression. It's like a soul journey, inner journey, akin to a shamanic journey. Some of you may have, what is that called? The plants, plant medicine. You may have engaged in that because I see a lot of green and plants here. But there's some type of journey that has happened. I feel like it transcends what we know, and it's been a lot through other realms, perhaps through dream states, trance states. Your other oracle, we got a shadow. Look at this. A lot of healing coming up. I feel like what happened, it's like a purge, like a squeezing of an orange. A lot of healing that has happened as a result of what happened earlier to you that caused this shift in your life. But this is precisely why it happened, to strengthen you. I feel like it feeds into what you are going to do moving forward. It could be career, work for some, and others, it's just who you are now, your being. It's exposing the darkness, transmuting and integrating that. Some of you, this entire year was about healing a certain fear. There's a lot of fear about what I'm getting here, about stability, change, and death. It could be metaphorical, but also the concept around what death means to you. Because you have sudden, shocking energy. You have abrupt energy, and you have very transformative energy. And there was a resistance that I feel from your energy, that some of you may have resisted these types of changes, almost as if the status quo, stability, enduring qualities were something that you wanted to hang on to, even though they weren't helping you grow. I feel like some of you experienced tower moments in the last year, significant ones. I'm not talking about, oh, you got a flat tire. Nothing like that. Significant tower moments in your life that really forced your soul to grow. It's like whether or not you're coming, you have to do this. Final oracle card, adventure. This looks like a hobbit house. I don't really know, even though I've watched Lord of the Rings and those movies many times, I don't remember the names of the people involved. I know there were hobbits. There's a sense of journey, like I mentioned earlier, a sense of exploration here. Some of you, to me, this is like a full card energy. These are oracle cards that do not have any tarot significations, but this to me represents a new beginning, a new start. You're about to start something very new, and I don't want to keep rehashing it. I keep getting that. You've learned everything, and now you're taking it with you. With the backpack, you're about to enter a new portal, a new way of being. Ever notice whenever you experience something that changes you, or you feel that it changes you, there's that perception, like taking a retreat, traveling somewhere locally, domestically, going on some type of challenge or adventure, like hiking a certain route, why did I say route? Like hiking a certain route or trail, or doing something challenging that you thought you couldn't overcome and you did, or completing a goal or some type of milestone. It changes you tremendously. It's like getting through that biggest book that you've wanted to read and you're like, wow, I actually did it. I read this book that had 1,000 pages. And you did it, and you feel this sense of accomplishment. More importantly, you feel changed. I keep getting that. You're different. And you can't undo or unchange that. You completely shifted. You're just a new person. We got time here. Ooh, I said time. This is a compass. There are new directions you are going in. I felt that already. Like I said before, I won't belabor it. Okay, let's grab an Archangel Michael Oracle, and then we're going to wrap up with final advice. What messages does Archangel Michael have for my Scorpios? What messages does Archangel Michael have for my Scorpios? We got one. 44. You will manifest what you need. Express gratitude as if your plans have already come to pass. Trust that your angels are bringing you the assistance you need. Remember I showed you the bottom of the deck of one of the oracle cards? Or decks, I should say. Wow. Look at this. You guys, it was 444 before. I felt, that's why I looked. 444 may be prominent. I'm going to write this down for you all. Or 44, which speaks to your foundation again. Spiritual foundation. You're being guided by someone on the spiritual realm. I feel like, let me say quickly, blanket statement, everyone is always guided. But I feel like there's an intentionality behind this. Like someone's like, okay, we're stepping it up. It could be someone you called on, and for some it's going to be ancestors. Get an ancestor, like I mentioned earlier. For some of you that connect to angels, it could be Archangel Michael, but there's someone in the higher realms that's guiding you too. And it doesn't have to be one person, entity, even though I know they're technically not people. Holy smokes. You're really protected right now. There's something here too about going in the direction that you want. As much as this is about healing, like the Sun card, it's about what you truly, clarifying what you truly want to do, because you will succeed. You have to believe. Sometimes when we have difficulty believing in that vision, we can surrender that to something higher and simply take it slowly, because sometimes it's hard to see things depending on your circumstances and what you're working through and where you're at in your journey. But constantly telling yourself, I know this is going to happen. I will believe it. It's that constant faith nugget back. Think of it as if the CD player got stuck on the button called faith. It's like that. Let's get final advice. Final advice, please, for my Scorpios from the universe. Thank you. Six of Cups. Some of you may connect to ravens or crows. Six of Cups speaks to balance as well, reciprocation, give and take, but it speaks to your childhood, your lineage, your roots. Childhood for some. I also get past life energy. This is about reconnection. Some of you, strong influence here about roots, family. Again, that's defined in terms of how you view it, blood or not blood, but strong focus on your immediate and your inner foundation. So emotional, what makes you feel safe and secure, and the foundation in which you reside in, the environment, the people, the home, what's part of it, what it means, and also your core values. This is about connecting that and finding that sense of, this feels right for me. It could be, some people call it balance, some people are calling it revising or revisioning, but it's a way of connecting to what makes you feel good. There's a sense of reconnection happening here. This was such a beautiful deep reading. My Scorpios, thank you so much for being here. If this resonated, I would truly love to hear if this resonated with someone out there and if this helped. And if this helped and guided you in your journey in any way, I would love it if you could please support me. Hit the thumbs up button. That's the best way to support my channel. You can hit the little bell if you'd like to be reminded of videos that I do on topics dealing with energy readings, spirituality, channeled messages, astrology, and more. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here. I'm wishing you a beautiful rest of the month. Take care and I'll see you soon.